further awards, Drama Queen of the Year, Real Housewives of Cape Town, reality show actress actually, businesswoman, winemaker, and all of everything else in between. Welcome to Money Adventures with TK.
Thank you.
How do you feel today? Are you feeling good? Are you feeling ready? Well, you said you were born ready. So how are you today?
I'm feeling super excited, and this is my first time here.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to put me on a hot seat.
Oh,
let's see. Everybody's been playing safe, so
serious?
Bring it.
Really? No,
yeah.
I'm a very chill guy. I'm very chilled.
How do you get chill when you're interviewing drama queen?
And you, drama, so I should bring the drama.
Yeah.
Okay, drama I shall bring.
Yeah.
So, Thato, first and foremost, for people who don't know you, who would you say Thato is? This is your elevator pitch. This is the moment you get to be very dramatic. Get it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Thato is I'm a strategist, a communication specialist, and I'm a design thinker, a winemaker, a CEO of Thato Wines, and a founder of Thato Wines, and Drama Queen of the Year 2023. And Real Housewives of Cape Town, entrepreneur, businesswoman, and
She's like
all of the above.
That is a whole long profile.
Yeah.
Anyway, so born and bred in Lesotho, and this is, I think, your very first episode or interview in the Lesotho context. So
yes.
I'm very super proud to be hosting you on my platform.
Yes.
So tell us a bit about your upbringing in Lesotho. You're born in Lesotho. Talk us through your life here in Lesotho before moving to Cape Town.
Look, my childhood hasn't been all glamorous and aspirational and elite. I come from a very humble beginning. And my dad was a hustler and a businessman. So I was born and bred in Lesotho, and I come from a small village, Mazinot MZ. Shout out to 160 Mazinot. And I went to primary school, Mazinot Primary. From there, shout out to Shalani, Masurai School. And I did my Form 1, Form B, Form C, more Masurai School. From there, I went to the Free State because my dad was residing in Free State. So he relocated the entire family in the Free State. So we went to Virginia, which is a very small town.
In the Free State.
In the Free State.
So can you Afrikaans part?
Biki. I actually did Afrikaans for 2 years, but then when I was writing my exam, I just wrote my name and the date, and voila, I was out. Because I can it's a bit nice.
I mean, really.
Yeah.
So now you moved from Lesotho, Mazinoto, you moved to Cape Town. How was that transition for you?
Look, the transitioning wasn't a smooth transitioning because when I got to Cape Town, I rewrote my matric.
Okay.
Because I had failed my matric.
Oh. In the Free State.
Yeah, in the Free State, because during the time when I was writing my matric, my dad died, and that took a toll on me.
This
emotionally,
was 2000,
physically.
2000, if I remember correctly. Okay.
Yeah, emotionally, physically, and mentally, and I was so drained. And I couldn't even focus on anything because he was a breadwinner and he was the love of my life. He was my dad. And that took a toll on me. I failed my matric. I rewrote matric and I got distinctions. From there, I went to University of Peninsula. Back in the days, I think it used to be called CPUT.
University of, I think that. Yeah.
But now it's University of Peninsula. Even then, So then I did my marketing there. For marketing, I went to Vega, which is a
premium girl.
Honey, we are actually opulent now. So this is the time of opulent. Sure. So then I went to Vega and I did brand communication for 3 years. Then from there, I did my postgrad in design thinking and brand innovation. And I got my honors in brand leadership. From there, I went into the industry where I became a strategist and I worked with Have You Heard? And my second one was FCB, which I was actually a brand manager for Savannah and Amarula. And I worked on Distill. So while I was there, then I realized, you know what, there's a gap in the market in terms of, I rebranded a wine oh, this guy came to me and said, oh my goodness, I like how you put yourself together.
Sure.
You're so put together. Can I go digital on you with you? And I'm like, how are you gonna do? What are your objectives?
Objectives, yeah.
And it's like, my objectives is it's sales. I said, no, those are not smart objectives. So I'll have a look at where the brand is and where the brand is going. And I realized that they didn't have a brand awareness, brand recognition, and brand recall. And I ended up rebranding and repositioning that because we were working on smart objectives. And after that, I found that I had like a very intensive, extensive research, and I realized that the wine industry is predominantly old white owned, and it's predominantly male, and it's very European and very laid back. And I was like, how beautiful will it be if I actually have my own brand? And I wanted my brand to actually celebrate my own culture,
Sure.
celebrate my own tradition, and really tell the Basotho story, and also embrace my own heritage.
I've got a question. When you say tell the Basotho story, what's
Yeah.
your Basotho story or Lesotho story?
My Basotho story really dates back to my tradition. It actually tapped into my culture, my food, how I perceive myself, how deep rooted I'm still in touch with my own tradition. And I recently went to Tabatseka, and ka palama pere, ne ke apere thithana, ke
Yes, girl.
apere makoko,
Yes, girl.
ke apere ho na le mo ke apereng seshweshwe sa Basotho,
Nice.
and I'm proudly Mosotho.
Yeah. So for a young girl in Mazinoto specifically watching this episode, or who sees you high, what advice do you have for them in terms of building a career, in terms of building a brand, in terms of life in general?
I think I'm such a good advocate of education. I really feel like I couldn't be where I am. Look, they're self-made millionaires,
Sure.
and they're self-made billionaires. But for me, really, I have managed to empower myself. I've managed to be an aspirational to other people through education. And I keep on feeding myself with what is it that I want to do. Find something that you're passionate about.
Sure.
And study. And study. And for me, I'm very driven. I'm striving. I'm very ambitious. So I feel like education is the first touch point. And also align yourself with the community of what is it that you want to do. Like the first thing when I wanted to do wine, I went to wine associations and started engaging with sommeliers, winemakers, people, wine culture, going to wine tasting. And from there, that's when I said, you know what, people, wine culture, they're very, very... they're educated about everything.
Sure.
They will tell you the notes
Sure.
that are coming through. So they don't want you to tell them the brand story. They also want you to explain what are the notes, what are the aromas, why is this color, from which region does it come from. So then I packed my bag, went to University of Stellenbosch, and I studied garagist winemaking. From there, I went to Cape Wine Academy. That's where I spent like 4 years of my life and studying. And up until today, I'm still studying and I'm still learning.
So talk us through. You mentioned you went to a wine school. Talk us through Thato Wines. What inspired? You've already mentioned it earlier on.
Yeah.
What inspired you to actually, or what gave you the courage to finally say, this is a white male, or a predominantly white owned industry. One, very male dominated as well. I'm going to actually step in as a black woman from Lesotho and launch Thato Wines.
Yeah.
So talk us through Thato Wines and what the story behind that is.
Yeah, I think I tapped in it, but I will elaborate again. Really, that's why I was like, we don't really find a lot of wines that tells our own tradition, that speaks to us. Like, I wanted a brand that speaks to the intangible.
Sure.
And not just the tangible product. And I wanted to connect with consumers and my target market on an emotional level, on a human-centric. And I really wanted people to kind of like tap into, we wanted to evolve with our target market. And I was like, the wine industry, it's about time we really we make sure that the industry is evolving. And it hasn't transformed as yet, but there are a couple of black people that are getting into the industry. And for me, it's really a passion. This is a passion project, and this is my sweat and tears, and this is what I love. I love wine. I love telling the wine stories. I'm getting into doing wine events where my wine events are going to be very curated, very educational, very engaging, where we really do a blind tasting and we taste wine of the worlds, and we guess the region, we guess the varietals, we guess how old is the wine. So it's very educational. I wanted my people to have the education. Why do we swallow the wine?
Yeah.
Why do we smell it?
Yeah.
And didn't you say exactly. So now we just drink to get drunk.
Exactly.
Not that I haven't got several times.
Yeah. So tell me, when you speak about wine events, can we expect one in Maseru or in Mazinoto?
Oh, we actually had one. My lovely cousin.
Invited a whole meet.
I mean, you're honorable. Like, you are the Pope of this industry.
Sure.
And we should have you next time. Look,
Definitely.
I had one. It was
Definitely.
absolutely beautiful.
Definitely.
And but I was very disappointed because it was also predominantly white. The only black people that were there, it was me, my cousin, and my other cousin, and this other two foreigners from Namibia or Zimbabwe. But it was mostly your European people. So it still shows that there's still more education that needs to be done.
Sure.
I mean, you guys are not even embracing sunny wines.
Sure.
So
Can we expect Thato wines maybe at the Lesotho Wine Festival later this year?
we were invited.
That's good. That's a great start. That's a great start because I'm a big fan of that event as well. It's just that last year was a bit a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, so
you missed out on that one.
I was there, but I was there.
I know you were.
So tell me,
Slush.
how much money do I need to start investing in wine?
You see, that's another thing again. The problem is the wine, it's very capital intensive.
Yes.
And really just I started from 400,000 to 500,000 with all the different varietals.
Sure.
So it's and also there's quite a lot of work behind the scene. You know, I think my cousin has been in and out with me, and she's seen how much I'm grinding because you need to have this product. You need to make sure that you put it in the market. You need to achieve brand awareness. That your target market should know that your brand is existing. Brand recognition, and ultimately, and brand recall. When they get to the shop, they need to recall you, and they need to recognize your brand. So how do you then cut through the clutter? Because the wine is very cluttered. It's extremely competitive
as well. Yeah,
it's
very
competitive.
Yeah, very competitive.
And it's very saturated. So how do you then cut through the clutter and make sure that you've got a brand that is very distinctful and that's meaningful, but that's through strategy. So I think with me it comes easier. It's not easy because I'm still grinding, but then because then I am from brand communication specialist to a winemaking
And talking about brand recall, brand positioning, how has your chapter on Real Housewives of Cape Town shaped, influenced, helped grow the brand, the Thato brand and the Thato Wines brand?
I was extremely intentional with the platform.
Okay.
And when I tap into that platform, I say to myself, you know what? What are my objectives? My objectives as a brand is brand awareness, brand recognition, and brand recall. How do I achieve this? It's through this platform, and it's to leverage. It's for my brand to leverage on the platform. Yeah. So I made sure that I'm coming to work with my own product. So it has helped me to cut through the clutter. Now I went harvesting with my wine. I went. We went into the cellar, explaining what happens in the cellar. From the cellar, we went bottling and we went labeling. And I made sure that everywhere I go, it's Thato wine. Consistency is the key.
Consistency
and
is the key.
You need longevity.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. And when you speak about everywhere you go, Thato Wines was there.
Yeah.
Why is that important, particularly for young people who are on the digital platforms? Because I think many a time young people underutilize social media, underutilize digital platforms that they have privilege to be on. So why is it so important for them to, everywhere you go, I mean, we're talking about Thato Wines and product placement is here. What advice would you give people who have those digital platforms that aren't exactly capitalizing on them?
Look, I mean, the first thing is like, find your brand identity, find your brand image, find what differentiates you from your target market, and also what are the trends that are going on in this industry, and what's your brand personality. How do I actually follow you and not follow another person?
Sure.
What differentiates you? And be consistent. Consistency is the key. And brand identity, brand image is everything.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's talk a bit about Real Housewives of Cape Town.
Yeah.
So I'm a young girl from Mazino, Lesotho, Africa, who's trying to get into the industry.
Yeah.
What are some of the tips they should be mindful of? What are some of the financial lessons they need to be, or financial contracts they need to be aware of as they venture into the industry?
I would say find your niche. Find what is it that you're passionate about. What is it that you like? And really follow your heart. And don't let anybody tell you that you can't do it. I've been told so many times that you can't do it. You're not good enough. You're not intelligent. You just can't do it. Just believe in yourself and believe in your existence, and everything that you can touch, you can actually turn into a gold. I'm not extraordinary. I'm still the same girl. And excuse me, darling. So empower yourself, really. When I got into the platform, to me, look, I'm Tado 24/7.
Tado 24/7.
What you see is what you get. I'm authentic, I'm real, and I'm very unfiltered, very unapologetic. And I think authenticity is also everything. And
what is authenticity? I think it's a word that we throw around very loosely. In your view, what is authenticity?
Stay true to yourself. I embrace who I am, how I perceive myself from inside out, how I want to be perceived as well. And just stay real. You know, I get to people that say, oh no, you know what, I'm bougie, so therefore I don't drink, or I only drink champagne.
Sure.
So am I going to actually emulate those people and try to fit in only because somebody is as a certain caliber? I mean, you've got your mass market, you've got your middle imaging, you've got your upper market, your aspirational, your elite of the elitists, your opulent. But when you get there, there's a certain way of behavioral that you find. So am I going to change myself just to fit in? How to the no? I stay who I am. If you think I'm a hot mess, come, let's go.
So let's talk a bit about Tado, the businesswoman.
Yeah.
What are some of the projects you're working on, especially post the Real Housewives of Cape Town season 1?
Yeah. Look, I mean, Real Housewives of Cape Town has been one of the hit show. I mean, it was the most watched show. When we launched it, was it this year or last year? I think it was
sometime last year.
Yeah, sometime last year.
Yeah.
But it's been so effective and impactful that up until today is still the most talked about. So Tado has been on everybody's lips throughout.
Is that a good or a bad
thing? It's good for my brand.
Okay.
Look, I mean, I know that I stay true to myself. And if it's either you like me or you don't like me. And I don't expect everybody to like me. I mean, we still need a calm and soothing. And I mean, if I never thought that I would be a drama queen of the year.
And what does that mean? What does that mean actually? To be drama queen of the year?
I'm a very big fan of a career, so that has to be clarified. So a friend of mine called me and she's like, you have been, but I mean, look, throughout it was Tado. Like I'll watch episodes and Tado take it to
Was
the gutter.
trending.
I was trending for 4 months
Sure.
completely, and people came to me, "Oh, we love you." Look, I mean, for me, like I said, I think I go back to authenticity and being real. And you asked me what does that mean, and I was on the show. I mean, I open up about personal things that matters. I spoke about abuse, which nobody spoke about it. I also I got drunk on the show and I embarrassed myself. And I don't know any person that drinks that hasn't gotten drunk. And it's just that I was on the show. And, so I'm like, so I stayed true to myself throughout. I don't know if I answered your questions.
Well, part of it.
Okay.
Tado, the businesswoman, and
Tado.
post the
Post.
show. Yeah.
Yes. So post, it's all about how do you then leverage on the show. Then how do you live beyond the show? And what is it that you want to achieve? How do you take the brand from where it is and to where you want it to be? So post the show, really what I've been doing is I've been doing interviews and I've been doing what is it that I love, and which is the Thato Wine brand awareness, recognition, recall has been achieved. So currently is to stay top of mind and trying to also bring other products because we have I've got your mother brand and your extension brands, and with that I've got a classic wine for the mass market, your middle emerging market, which is our premium wine, and our ultra premium wine for your opulent, aspirational, elite, and your black diamond. So it's all differentiated by the juice inside, and also is differentiated by the pricing as well. So we really cater for everybody, and we connect with all those different markets on a human centric. So I'm also I'm adding one of my main things is really educational or around the wine making process, which I am going to be launching a wine academy very soon.
Okay, lovely. So I'm in Maseru. I'm interested to hear about Thato wines. Where do I find it if I'm in Maseru in the Lesotho context?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So we are available at our main distributors is Paulo Hafrank.
Yeah, Hafrank.
And
yes.
we are actually at the final stage with Maluti Brewery, which is the main distributors.
Yeah.
So we have engaged with Cafe Watt, the market.
The market, okay.
And
all my favorite places, by the way.
The market.
All of them. Ulala, Cafe Watt, the market, yeah.
Yeah. So those are the places where you will be popping bottles.
Sure.
Yeah. So it will be nice for you guys to embrace one of your own.
Yeah, Thato wine. So talk me through, let's talk a bit about money.
The wine is finishing.
The wine is finishing, so we need to wrap up this interview quickly as well. But before we wrap up the video, or the conversation rather, is talk me through your relationship with money. What does money mean to you?
Money is everything. And I feel like for me, look, I don't come from a financial sector, but I know that in terms of when I'm running my business, I don't touch my profit. I don't touch anything that has to be business stuff. So I need to make sure that my business is generating. Okay. Because I had some hiccups where I opened a boutique in town and it declined.
Yeah.
So I don't want to go through that. So for me, it's very important that your finances are intact. I have a team that makes sure that our tax clearance is perfect, that makes sure that our CA keep in touch with the books and everything.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
So
on a personal note, what has been the biggest financial blunder or mistake that Thato has made? Or where you splurged money ridiculously?
Yes, no, definitely. But I think one of my financial setback was to open a boutique where I knew nothing about clothing. I just knew that I could put things together and I could be fashionable, and I thought that that was sufficient enough. And I was with a friend of mine who passed away, but he was a designer. So he will look at the designing part of it, and I said I'm gonna come in as the marketing and the funder. But then being the marketing and the funder, I've never executed anything that had to do with marketing. So that's why I feel like research is very important when you get into a business. Just research, get your target market. Who are your target market? What makes them tick? What is it that what are the needs and wants of that market? So then make sure that you tap into a holistic business, and your brand is also cohesive.
Wow. So, in closing remarks, and where do people follow you? If they, obviously, we're trying to grow the following. You have a podcast, you have Instagram is very big as well.
Yeah.
So, your closing remarks to wrap up this conversation, and then also your social media handles.
So, you will get me on my platform. I've got I'm not on Twitter, people. I don't know how to tweet.
Yeah, it's scary. It's a wild west.
I know, but I like when I was there when I was trending, and they were coming for me and loving me and coming for me. I'm like, really? Is this what you think of me? Okay, so you can catch me on Instagram. My name is Thato Montsè, and my Facebook Thato Montsè. We've got also a wine page. Tato wine page.
Yes.
So we've got a separate accounts. So it's Tato Wines on all the digital platform. I've got your Twitter account. No, not yet. It's disabled. I've got Instagram, Facebook, and I was on TikTok, but I also don't know what to do.
Pour wine, drink wine. Content is content.
How drunk would I be on a daily basis? Not that I'm so
you could do the educational aspects on TikTok. 30 seconds, what it means, why serving the wine means, how to 30 second to 60 seconds clips.
Oh my goodness, TikTok. I'm learning.
I
need to come for more sessions, not for interviews.
Thank you so much for being on Money Adventures with TK. I look forward to seeing Tato Wines grow. Yes. I get to see more Basotho, embracing it, tasting, drinking, enjoying it. And I wish you nothing but the best for the future.
Thank you so much.